Hey everybody, welcome back to Iphone Bloke, the tech tube where we help quality people to pick up quality products. So today happens to be a very interesting day with context to a brand new playlist I'm going to launch, and this is in context to a much awaited request by a lot of people on Instagram and Twitter especially. So people, those who follow me on Twitter and Instagram, they have been flocking in with lots of requests for this wonderful playlist. Now what this playlist is all about is I'm going to reveal right now, and this is in context to a playlist called the tips for second-hand car buyers. The tips for second-hand car buyers. In case if you have planned to buy yourself a second-hand, let's say a luxury car or a sedan or whatsoever, I think this video can do wonders. So let's get started. Okay, so the basic question which pops up in my mind, and I think everyone who is aspiring to buy a car, is shall I go ahead and buy a brand new car if I'm a new learner, or should I go ahead and buy a second-hand car, just refine my driving skills because I don't want to dash my brand new car if I'm a new learner? These are pretty obvious questions I think everybody has in today's market, and I think a lot of people, those who have been looking around to buy a second-hand car, especially the new learners, I think they are the ones who would be very happy to know these wonderful tips. So tip number one, inspect your car. There are three important segments in this wonderful video to talk about, and the first tip is whenever you want to buy a second-hand car, always go ahead and buy a car from a single driven owner. If possible, buy a car from a doctor. If possible, buy a car from a guy who is an IT. If possible, buy a car from someone who is let's say a moneyed individual, let's say a businessman, somebody who drives his car just for his sake of convenience from one place to another. So this is tip number one. Number two, take a mechanic. So whenever you're about to buy a second-hand car, the most important thing what you can do to yourself is have your own renowned, trusted mechanic, an individual, one who understands the A to Z of a car from top to bottom. Now, when you have your own mechanic, what they will do is they'll give you a thorough inspection with context to correct condition of your car, and that could result in saving or losing money if you happen to have your renowned own private well in rapport technician, somebody who understands a car accessories or car segments pretty well. That's number two. Number three, existing insurance. That's a major deal. A lot of people do not pay attention towards this. If you're buying a second-hand car, you also have to keep in check whether the car has been claimed for insurance or not, whether they have dashed a car or not, how many times a particular car has been used for claim and whatnot. I think all these things are very, very important in terms of understanding how well the car has been maintained and driven by a specific owner. So do check the claim policies if you're checking in the insurance segment of a second-hand car. Number four, engine and chassis number. Now, we are in 21st century and we have a lot of experts, those who do so-called the mumbo jumbo stuff with number of the engine and chassis number. Do request your engineer or your technician, whosoever is going along with you, to check the number on the engine and the chassis, and these two numbers should match from the documents what you have received. If it's not, it means they have either replaced an engine or they've got something, a new thing altogether. 4, 5. The biggest thing what you should be checking when you own a second-hand car is take a drive at a place between 40 to 50 kilometers and check the braking. If you are getting a noise, a rattling noise within the cabin, that could be a damage. If you're getting a noise within the pedal of the clutch or the brake, that could be a damage. So all these things are very, very handy when you take a ride from 40 to 50 kilometer in an area where you have empty space. This will give you braking confidence in how good the brakes are in the existing car. Check out the basic things, for example, oil filter, air filter and whatnot. I think a lot of negotiation can be done when you check all these oil, air and fuel filters. And when you are able to do it successfully, you can easily reduce or let's say enhance the number of money which you're going to pay for your second-hand car. Last but not the least, which very few people check the underbody scrapping. So in case if you are planning to buy a second-hand car, do get down, see the bonnet, number one. Number two, see the underbody, if there have been any scratches or a dent to your car, because people, those who are not careful while driving on the bumper or the city, let's say roads where roads are not fantastic, or let's say potholes, you may end up seeing scar underneath the car, and that could potentially be a huge loss when it comes to repair. I hope this was useful for your second-hand car tips. This was a tip number one. I've got 2 more videos coming up in this playlist of second-hand car buying tips. In case if you're new, do subscribe, give me a comment, connect with us on Instagram, listen to us on podcast, and many more. Until next time, take care.